I think my 17 male, brother 22 male is sleeping with my mom, 40 female. I know this will sound bizarre, and for me it is too, but I've been having this suspicion for quite a long time. My brother, 22 male, and my mom, 40 female, have always had a close relationship. My brother is my mother's golden child, and they have always been close. But every time my dad, 43 male, goes on a work trip, they become even closer, cuddling while watching a movie. They even go outside together. Whenever I ask them about this, they say that it's normal mother and son relationship, but I feel quite disgusting with this. Yesterday was the final nail on the coffin. My dad went on a business trip on Thursday and should be back this Wednesday. So I was returning home after seeing some friends and the house was quiet, but the lights were on and that bothered me. And when I went to take some comfy clothes from my room, I heard some noises coming from my parents' room. I just freaked out and remained quiet. Then went to the bathroom. When I went out, my mother and brother were sitting eating dinner like nothing happened. They even seemed surprised to see me. I am confused right now. I don't know if I should tell my dad because I have no solid proof, but I am almost 100% sure that something is going on. Then OP made an update. I have an update about everything. I put some cameras like some of you suggested, and yes, I have a video of my mom and my brother entering my parents' bedroom. I don't know what they would be doing there, and frankly, I don't care. It's disgusting. They were there for about an hour, then came out like nothing happened. Of course, when my dad came back, I told him about my suspicions, and even I showed him the video. He was angry. I'd never seen him like this. He began screaming to my mom and my brother. They said time after time that they weren't doing anything sexual. My mother was angry at my dad for suggesting that, but when my dad asked her what they were doing, she just stood in silence. I am now with my dad in my aunt's house. His sister. I don't know what will happen, but at least he knows now. This morning, my mom came to my aunt's house, and she came clean with everything. My brother essayed her. It looks like that a year ago, my brother entered in my parents' room when my dad was on a business trip and assaulted my mother. She showed us much as if my brother threatened her even with violence. She told us that my brother had taken photos of the first encounter, and that he was using it as some kind of blackmailing. My dad was fuming, and the moment we went back home and he saw my brother started beating him, I had to grab him, and the neighbors called the police because of the noises. She told us that my brother had taken photos of the first encounter and that he was using it as some kind of blackmailing. My dad was fuming, and the moment we went back home, he saw my brother started beating him. I had to grab him, and the neighbors called the police because of the noises. The police came, and everything was chaos. An ambulance had to come to take my brother, but none of us went with him. My mom and I talked with the police and explained everything. The police revised his laptop and phone and found lots of explicit pictures, videos of not only my mom, but some other girls, and even one cousin that we haven't seen in years. They took my dad into custody, and my mom and I went with him. My mom sued my brother, and we were going to contact my cousin and search for the other girls to see where they were. I think OP isn't a native English speaker because he keeps using the word sue. I think he means to say press charges, but either way. The thing that is making me feel like a scum is I have been thinking that my mom was an abuser when she was a victim. She talked to me and apologized profusely for letting me aside and neglecting me. But she said that my brother was threatening her into not talking to me. I kind of guess that she was protecting me. I won't update, at least not for a while. This has been stressful days and weeks. My dad will spend the night in prison, but the police have told us that tomorrow morning they will set him free. As for my brother, we don't care about him. My aunt have told the rest of the family what happened. So now we will try to contact with the other girls and we'll try to convince them to sue my brother as well. I feel like a failure not to be able to save my mother. That's crazy. What do you guys think about this? Because I was not expecting that twist and turn, honestly. But I'm glad his mom is safe now. It's so weird how someone can turn on their own mom. Like, people just do crazy things and the world just get crazier and crazier every time. Am I wrong for telling my boyfriend I found it weird that he kissed the coffin at his friend's funeral service? I, 23 female, have been in a great relationship with my boyfriend, Paul, 23 male, for around 2 years now. Recently, we attended the funeral service of one of his best friends since high school, and during the service, Paul kissed the coffin. Not many people seemed to notice, and I thought it was a nice gesture, but I was kind of weirded out. He approached me and looked at me, saying, "What's the face about?" And I just whispered, "Oh, nothing. I just think that was kind of awkward, unusual." Paul just gave me a smile and kept walking with teary eyes. I know funerals are highly emotional events, so I didn't mention anything else after that, and I didn't mean to directly judge his behavior. The next day, during a casual conversation with a couple of our group friends, I mentioned to one particular friend that I thought Paul kissing the coffin was kind of weird, but sweet in retrospective, not really thinking much about it. Just as recounting a previous day, one of our mutual friends overheard us and said, "I don't think that's weird. It was our last time to say goodbye, right?" And that she thought it was a touching moment. At that point, everyone joined the conversation, and one of the other friends was like, "Oh, buddy," and gave my boyfriend a big hug. I added, "Yeah, I said it was sweet, but not something you see every day, is it?" Everyone got all quiet. My boyfriend seemed a little uncomfortable. He said, "Please, let's change the subject." We did, but after that, he kind of zoned out and left earlier than we had planned for that day. This was almost 2 weeks ago, and we're still talking like usual, but I don't want to keep bothering our friend over this. And I'd rather not bother Paul since he's still grieving. My sister thinks I was wrong to express my thoughts at that moment, and that kissing a closed casket or coffin is not really that unusual, and I should leave it alone. I know that writing a Reddit post is the opposite of leaving it alone, but some of our mutual friends told me I was being very obnoxious that day with Paul bringing up the subject. So I guess I need to know from more perspective I was indeed an a-hole or mentioning what I was thinking. Perhaps it's a cultural thing because I was raised in Germany and he's French, but I don't believe I was rude for simply bringing it up. Maybe a lack of funeral service etiquette? Um, why is well, I don't understand. Like, I understand culture shock and all, and when you're with somebody or when you're in a place and people do things that you're not usually used to seeing. I understand that and all, but why is she so hung up on somebody kissing their best friend who died's coffin? It's just a coffin. You just kiss the coffin and you move along. What? I'm so confused.